The defamation lawsuit against this publisher and yours truly, me personally, has been dropped. Again, we've told the crowdfunders on the Chuffed crowdfunding platform who helped fund this thing, that we are humbled and immensely appreciative, because without their financial support, this would have dragged on for a long time. But regulators have dropped their investigation into the solicitors behind the action. So here is the grim warning for all of you. Anybody who posts on social media, if you post on social media or independent media, it can happen to you. It can happen to anybody. You can find yourself 40K down, 6 months of your life taken out, livelihood damaged by the legal profession. You could be dragged into court. You could be served with a lawsuit at home. No matter if you took the post down that was complained of. We did. No matter. No matter your efforts to try to resolve it amicably, you could be sued for defamation. Sued if somebody takes offence and claims that you have damaged their reputation or hurt their feelings. It doesn't matter if your post is true, because that is for the court to decide months, if not years down the track. But if you pay lawyers, it will cost you $100,000 even to get to the courtroom steps. Such are Australia's defamation laws, and such is the wasteland, which is the regulation of lawyers in this country. And by the way, there's no way of finding out who is funding the case against you. May not be the plaintiff or the applicant in this case. Anybody can pay for it. And the predatory law firms, they don't have to reveal their funding. There's no legal obligation for them to do this. So what's the point of all this? It's surely indulgent for yours truly, the messenger, to be doing a story about himself. Well, it is. So excuse us for that. We apologise. Being at the vanguard of this epidemic, which is being attacked by marauding ambulance-chasing lawyers, and in this role, we can attest, perhaps with more authority than most, that freedom of speech in Australia is a chimera. Legislators and regulators need to step up, because ordinary people, like yours truly, small publishers, social media, independent media posters, are picked off routinely with legal threats. Mostly they don't get to court. The corporate media, in contrast, and this is where the playing field is unfair. The corporate media, the fossil media as we like to call it, is subsidised by government advertising and by the Digital Media Bargaining Code, which props up their corporations with cash payments from the platforms. We don't get that. The journalists themselves, and this is no fault, this is good on them stuff, but they have a balance sheet behind them and they are indemnified by their large corporations, and that's good for them. But the playing field is not level. Media reform is a joke. Large corporations are subsidised by government and the rest of us. So it is that our latest trial is over. We had Shonky Shine lawyers come at us also a few years ago with an untrue fake lawsuit. That cost time as well. This case has been dropped. Settlement signed, so we can't say much about it, but we're happy with it. Our lawyers from XD Law have described the result as stunning. And from a defamation lawyer's point of view, it is stunning. The case would have dragged on as costs ramped up endlessly higher had we not called their bluff and tried to get the matter into court as soon as possible. So congratulations to Mark Davis, Sharangam Maheswaran and Jack Vaughan for doing a great job, and at mates' rates. But this is a case which should never have proceeded in the first place. From the perspective of a small business, a publisher, a victim of legal abuse, this is just how the system rolls. 5 months and 40K later in legal costs. This story is an omen for all publishers that the law, or perhaps better put, the legal business, is a predatory and unregulated place, a place of bullies and fee guzzlers. But it's all legal, all blessed by the regulators, by the profession itself. Rather than adhering to convention, in this case, into the legal obligation of discussing a claim before you sue somebody, reacting to efforts to resolve the matter without litigation, we offered to do this, to address their concerns on a number of occasions, on the telephone, by email, to their concerns notice, but the two solicitors from Canberra law firm MV Law instead had us personally served with a writ at home, without returning an email, without even engaging with our offers to give the complainant their own statement to adjust anything that was wrong. Didn't matter. No telephone calls returned either. These solicitors, Alyssa Taylor and Courtney Noble, simply brushed away all efforts to address the concerns of their client, and so it went straight to court. Instead, they preferred to drag us directly into court, the Federal Court of Australia, which is not a cheap place to be. We had one case management hearing before Justice Owens. Thank you, public, for funding this exercise, which has only damaged the interests of both parties. Always the lawyers, and only the lawyers that are the winners. Instead of being buried, the story went national, exposing a cover-up on Parliament Hill, and it is still running because we don't have answers back. Questions on notice are still out, and we may find out more soon as to how people in government can be running around suing citizens with the cognizance of their bureaucratic chieftains. The firm is even on the government tenders gravy train. That's MV Law. They pick up a lot of government work, millions. But unlike most people who have no legal redress against this sort of thing, we do, because we have the Michael West Media website and we have this YouTube channel. And so we owe the public a duty to write this story. Unlike other victims of legal abuse, we have distribution. We can raise money, get the word out. And the message is that if you are a lawyer and you fail to disclose conflicts of interest, it's okay, according to the ACT Law Society. It's okay to soak up court time. It's okay to harass people, make dubious claims, demand money. It's even okay to act as a solicitor in a case when you are going to be called as a witness. Apparently no conflict of interest there, according to the ACT Law Society, despite corroborating legal correspondence from XD Law, our solicitors. Yeah, you can be the lawyer and a witness. And we now know that all of this is okay because these regulators from the ACT Law Society, they've dropped their investigation into Courtney Noble and Alyssa Taylor. They had been investigated, which we thought was a good thing, but our complaints have now been dismissed, and in the eyes of legal regulators, MV Law has acted appropriately. There is no defamation, therefore, in this story because the regulators have sprinkled their holy water on the activities of Courtney and Alyssa, the two solicitors who've been threatening us for 5 years. Now, a cynic might claim that the legal regulators in Australia are pathologically incapable of regulating their profession. But what they have really demonstrated in this case is that this is the profession. That's what it is. Now, it's also thanks to our distribution and our supporters that we were able to fund this defence. We raised $48,000 in 24 hours and then shut it off in a crowdfunding on Chuffed. They were advised earlier, as they were effectively the litigation funders in this matter. So again, we're humbled and immensely thankful of this support in the community, because without this, the case would have dragged on. For this is the business model of the legal fraternity, to create work for themselves. Now, we will disclose here, we must have a disclaimer, some of our best friends are lawyers, and we may even be getting them the special Stop Legal Abuse t-shirt for Christmas. Nonetheless, we, not just the defendants, but journalists, we have to fund this organisation somehow. We were damaged by this claim, by these conflicts of interest, by this failure of regulation, forced to divert resources from journalism, forced to junk media projects just to meet the demands of the ambulance chasers. There you go. That's the story. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon too, because that revenue has allowed us to keep running the operation. So we're deeply in gratitude to you as well, and the people on Stripe on the website. Please like, share and comment in the section below. But be warned that it can happen to anybody.